Did you buy any merch for this movie?
I
What
did.
did you buy?
You know what? And I already have it up behind everything here of the items.
Items?
I got
Items.
two items.
Okay.
I got the
All
Captain
right.
America shield popcorn bucket that folds out. It's like legit metal, but it's thin metal. So for anybody, if
Uh-huh.
you're deciding to get it, don't rest it on its edge and put weight on
Because
it.
it'll bend.
It will
It'll
bend,
bend.
but it will
I
hold up
saw that.
very nicely on the wall.
I saw on the at the concession stand, and I saw
Mhm.
one that's like on its side, so you can see the bucket part. Also, it's on the bottom. The shield's on the bottom. You can see it
Yeah.
already like bent from that. What
The
else
other
did you
one
get?
was I got the Falcon helmet, but apparently there's two versions. There's one that's like the size of the
Yeah.
Deadpool head, and then this one is like the small size of Chucky's head from Child's Play. Very small.
Okay.
The inside lights up so it illuminates the lenses.
I was going to get the shield.
Yeah,
I was tempted. That was 52 bucks.
yeah.
You spent 52 bucks on a bendable metal fake Captain America shield that you can't throw around or
I have a lot of gift card points accumulated, and I cashed them in.
then that's I guess that's worth it.
Hmm.
On Rotten Tomatoes, at the time of this recording, Captain America Brave New World is scored at 51% by the critics and 79% by the audience. I saw it twice already.
Really? Why?
Oh, someone did not like it as I did.
Maybe.
On your left. Welcome to Tales of Two Bros. My name is Angel,
Hamadan.
where we give you a review at least once a week. Spoiler alert. Before we get into it, how was your theater experience?
I went the day before Valentine's Day at
Mhm.
10:30 at night.
Same here.
So,
Okay.
well, you saw it before I did.
Yeah, I know. I saw it the day before Valentine's Day. I saw it at the 2 o'clock showing.
Gotcha. It was okay. Not a lot of people, truth be told.
Yeah, I kind of figure that in the sense that Valentine's Day, people trying to save money.
Yeah.
I went by myself because Kim did not want to see it, but I took her today. She saw it with me and she thought better than anticipated. I agree with her.
Yeah.
But you, I think, has a different opinion. But we go here. It takes place after Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It takes place apparently after Secret Invasion because there's a new president.
Yeah.
In Secret Invasion, there was another president. So I'm thinking that's when it took place.
Well, the president
We
didn't
have.
pass away in Secret Invasion. A few
I
other
didn't. I didn't say he
series.
did.
I'm just saying time frame wise, there's been a lot of other things that's happened since Secret Invasion.
Right, but in the sense of timelines like that, like maybe the president who put out a war on all aliens, I think maybe not mutants, but aliens, the crawl or the scroll, maybe people didn't like that. I don't know. Because it's like right now, you're not really sure because you have Bucky makes an appearance here and he's coming out with Thunderbolts. He's running for Congress. Where does Thunderbolts take place in the sense of that?
Yeah,
Remember, not every
I
movie
think
is
that's the
going
better question.
chronologically.
Thunderbolt's placement versus this placement in time. I think that's the better
Right.
question.
Well, but also Thunderbolt Ross, because remember, because we don't know who is vice president. We have no idea who's vice president here. So it
Mhm.
could be this could have happened prior to the Skrull invasion. And he lost that and he became the vice president, then became president. So we're
Yeah.
not really sure where this falls in place.
I'm not
And
gonna
to my
Google it.
knowledge, it doesn't really, yeah, neither I. It's okay. We'll find out later. But we have Harrison Ford playing, replacing the late William Hurt as Thunderbolt Ross, as we mentioned.
Mhm.
The Thunderbolts named after Thunderbolt Ross. Anthony Mackie returns as Sam Wilson, aka the new Captain America. You have new
Joaquin
Falcon,
Torres is played by Danny
Joaquin Torres.
Ramirez.
Also, what I kind of digged about here, it kind of retconned other shows or movies that sucked or did not have the fanfare that it deserved. You have The Incredible Hulk. You have The Eternals, which was the sucky one. Then you have also the other sucky one, Black Widow. You have remnants of that. Then you have a proposed one of the titles, The Serpent Society. They're in this because that was supposed to be the second film for Captain America. Then they switched it to the Winter Soldier.
Mhm.
I forgot my theater experience. My bad. Thursday at 2 p.m. It was about like 10 of us in the theater. It was very low, but rightly so. It's during 9 to 5 where a lot of people are working, kids are at school. Now I
Yeah.
saw it today at 1:15, and of course there was a lot more people there and a little more responsive in the sense of what was happening there. But overall, it wasn't packed. Now, before we go into our likes and dislikes, not every Marvel, as we know, or MCU movie is going to be a hit.
True.
But I felt they did a good job enough to get some things across or set up for the future. They put more of the groundwork, the new metal that they got from the Celestial Island.
Yeah.
So that we know is going to go towards the X-Men, especially Wolverine.
Sure.
Okay. Okay. You know what? Let's just go with you because I can tell you did not have a good time, far less than I did anyway.
You want to go dislikes first?
Well, whatever you want to go, because I can tell by your aura that you're like,
My
oh my God,
key.
why did I
Uh, so here's the thing. This movie rehashes, like you said, a lot of other movies. It doesn't feel original in a lot of ways.
it was very reminiscent of The Winter Soldier.
I would say Winter Soldier and Civil War combined in a poorer way.
The director, what has he or she done prior? I think it's a he, but
Julius Onay, prior work was Cloverfield Paradox, something called Loose is Luce, The Boundary, things that I don't know and I have not watched.
so there you go. That's one huge indication of where it went wrong.
And also, there's been a ton of rewrites and script rewrites and
Yes.
reshoots.
And you can
There's a
tell
lot of
from the
scenes that
sense of
feel that way.
the background and the setting. Yeah.
Well, the
Yes.
entire end sequence in the gardens is CGI
The
background. The
cherry
cher-
blossom field.
The scene between him and Bucky feels like that was a reshoot. The whole concept about Isaiah being framed because he was brainwashed kinda is Civil War. That's
No,
trying.
it's Winter Soldier.
Hear me out. It's a villain that is using a super soldier, trigger him through brainwashing, and to commit an act or frame him for an act in order to get revenge on another party.
Yeah. And Civil War was codes and all this stuff.
hmm
And here was a flashing light.
And then
Um,
basically the
okay.
main bad guy in Civil War was a mastermind, which the main guy
Mhm.
here is supposed to be the leader. He never addresses himself as a leader. He addresses himself as the hero. I think is stupid.
Well,
He is the
you
leader.
know what? I know he said that, but I think he knows he's the villain, and he just said that to be just
Yes. At the same
to
time,
throw it off, whatever.
the whole idea of it is like his mastermind plan just wasn't as good as what was done in Civil War. For a guy who's a
Oh,
genius level
yes,
intellect, his
yeah.
mastermind was not there.
He got defeated multiple times.
Yes.
Now, before you go on, I do have I like the look and I don't like the look of the leader, especially because
He's
on the
hard to look at.
merchandise, well, no, on the merchandise, like the shirts and all stuff that's showing this is the leader, is very reminiscent to the comic book character version with a big forehead, with the gold tee.
Mhm.
What's that character from Invincible? The black guy who had the multiple.
Oh, yeah, I know
Uh,
who you're talking about, Fudge.
yeah, that's what he had the bumps on his head, like he got stung by a lot of bees. I didn't mind it, but I wish it was more true to the comic. Maybe they'll fix it in like when it goes on when it finally comes out to Disney Plus
Yeah, I
by
can't
like
remember his
CGI
name
it.
right now, but I know exactly who you're
Yeah,
talking about, and I think that's also a reshoot issue. I really because that's all CGI they did. I don't think that's prosthetics they just slapped on them.
I have no idea. When he meets Sam Wilson in the last time
Yeah,
at the hospital, that looks CGI. Being
yeah,
at the
that was in the
leader.
prison.
No, not the prison.
Yeah,
Not the prison. I'm talking about when he's at the hospital.
I
He
thought that
just
was a prison
finished
too.
visiting the Falcon. No, no, it was a military hospital thing. It was like,
Oh.
no, he was outside. So, but
Oh,
yeah,
you're not
but
talking about the
also
end scene,
there.
post-credit scene.
No, I'm not. Also, he's referred to as the buyer.
Yeah.
And where do we hear that name prior to that? It's gonna be hard to remember.
You're not talking about the power broker.
I am talking about the buyer. I know the power broker is something else. That's a Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Sharon Carter was working with him. I'm talking about the buyer. There's a character referred to in Ant-Man and Wasp, the buyer. So they're making reference to that movie as well. So there's a lot of retcon on some films that did not hit as hard as others. I mean, I thought Ant-Man and Wasp was a solid film, not Quantumania, but this one was.
I see where we're getting at that. I feel that's far stretched.
Well, he's referred to the buyer and then his regular name. You know what I'm saying? It's like is the two
Yeah,
things.
but
Never
there's
as the leader.
I understand that. I'm saying the connection between Ant-Man and Wasp is far stretched because anybody can be considered a buyer when they're just not giving an alias or anything like that.
The
That's
guy
why it didn't connect
both
for me.
no, I get it, but there's technology involved in the Ant-Man and the Wasp, and he's big in technology here as well, you know? Also, this movie did remind me a lot of The Dark Knight in a sense of
How?
listen to me. The Joker or Joker in The Dark Knight and the leader here, they happen to figure out things so fast and be at spots or be at places which makes no sense time wise. Like the Joker will be in one place at one time, and then like 2 minutes later, he's somewhere else. It was like 12 steps ahead. The leader, you use like math and probability to know what's going to happen. And then he's at the training facility, kills Dumfrey, and then he meets Sam Wilson like 2 minutes later, giving himself up. Like he's just all over. Like, how do you travel all that? I mean, I can understand like playing chess in this way. We're getting having several moves ahead, and if this happens, I have a contingency here, or if this person reacts this way, this is going to happen. I can understand that, but in the sense of being in place and knowing like exactly what's going to happen, that was very Joker from The Dark Knight. If you watch that again, he knows everything was going to happen way before things happen, and then of course Batman foils it at the end where here Sam Wilson foiled it here and there at times. I always had a problem with that with the Dark Knight that he always knew so much. He was highly,
I
yeah, he
mean,
was highly intelligent, but that was
well,
way too intelligent.
that was
Where this
supposed to be
guy,
the one thing that he's supposed to be intelligent because he's using probability as a way to predict what would be
right?
future
No, I get that,
events.
and that's enhanced by the gamma rays that he absorbed. Where Joker lucked out, in my opinion, was like, what the hell? Like,
Okay.
at the when he shoots Commissioner Gordon, and he has the people wearing the name tags of Rachel and Harvey Dent, so whoever finds them, they know it's like it was just a little too easy. But anyway, you were going on about your dislikes, I guess.
Listen, the entire premise is like he was working as a pseudo doctor for President Thaddeus Ross. Get
Well,
him
before he
into
became president.
exactly. In order to get him to presidency, he also worked with Thaddeus Ross under the pretense that he was going to be released from jail. I want to know what was the
Mhm.
percentage of probability that that was going to succeed, given Thaddeus Ross' record of everything. Even a person who's not a genius would have been like, "Yeah, the likelihood of this guy letting you go is extremely low."
Right. And it was, well, I guess he timed it in the sense when to apply his revenge.
I'm saying it's
I
a
guess.
poor idea. it's it's like is very poor motive. The leader, who's a character that's usually focused on the Green Hulk, nothing relevant there. The fact that adamantium is a resource provided from the body of the Celestial, so it is basically just stronger vibranium, something that came from an outside source from outer space.
That's,
Listen, adamantium
sure.
to
I'm
me
okay with that.
is the byproduct of an accident trying to duplicate the metal that is Captain America's shield, but man-made. Also, when they show the adamantium, it's already hardened. So here's my question. It's
Mhm.
indestructible.
But
How are you going to repurpose it?
but don't it doesn't have to be in high heat, like extreme
Once it's
heat
hardened, it
to
can't
finally
it's
break down.
no, once it's hardened, it can't be broken down. It's indestructible. The only time it was literally in a liquid form for Wolverine, other than when it was injected into him, was when Magneto ripped it out from his skeleton, and that was like on a molecular level
Right.
with magnetism.
Well, they'll figure it out, I guess. I don't know.
No, they just threw it
I
out there.
I
They
mean,
said
he's been
like
in
that's. I'm
what?
saying you asking me my problems. I'm saying it makes no sense.
No, no, I get it. I get it. I mean, I just got excited because they're just showing more and more connection to the X-Men coming in.
True.
So or
But
mutants
here's the
coming in. So
thing.
I got a
I
little excited
also
for
didn't
that.
get
And
excited
how they
because that was leaked in the trailer. Every good scene that was in the
oh,
movie
was it?
leaked in the trailers because I avoided most
Oh,
of the
see, I didn't know
trailers.
that. All
And
I know
then
is
literally that
mhm.
week before the movie released, I got hit with a trailer and I cut it off within 10 seconds. And the first words that within the first 5 seconds was adamantium. I'm like, damn it.
I never. watched the previews. Only ones I saw was just Red Hulk showing up.
Yeah, no,
You know,
and
that
then
was the
they
selling
had a
factor.
trailer talking about the leader. They, you know, like they all
Oh,
the good
see,
points.
paid
Even
attention
Ruth
or
Bat
tried to avoid
Seraph,
it.
the new girl who's his top security, she's in the
Yeah.
trailer.
See, I kind of liked her. At first, I didn't, but then I was like, you know what? That's a great ploy because she's a short woman, very deceiving in a sense of like she can't really do anything, but then she kicks ass. So like looks can be deceiving. You can look at her as like, oh, she's not a threat,
So
and then she
here's the
does
thing:
become one.
her character in the movie, they say that she was a member of the Red Room, right? In the
Yeah,
comics, she's a
she was the widow.
in the comics, that was not her. She was a superhero in the
No, I
comics.
know.
Oh well, I'm saying this for other people then. And like she was technically a mutant in the comics,
Right.
and,
Well,
and she,
Dumfrey, I'm sorry, Dumfrey was the militia in the comic.
yeah, well, not anymore.
Yeah, well, no, he's done. But I'm
Yeah,
just saying he was so. I mean, they kind of repurposed some of the characters, but I liked her. She served her role well enough.
yeah, she
What I
grew on
didn't
me.
like, yeah, I didn't like the head of the Secret Service, the girl, the black girl.
Oh,
She
and
was weak as
I
hell.
don't even know what her purpose. I like if she's referred to as another character in the comics. I don't know. That was
Right,
supposed to be
but
Sam's
she just
in, and I don't know about
maybe.
that.
I know her from the Mindy Project, which was a comedy show with Mindy Kaling. I don't know. She just bothered me, like her attitude, her presence. I was like, you're the top Secret Service. You're the one that's protecting the president. And you're like, hey, Mr. President, the plane is ready for you. For me, she was the least favorite character.
Yeah, I guess.
But
Yeah,
then Esposito, I'm getting tired of his acting in The Boys, in The Mandalorian, and Breaking Bad. Oh, and what else? Oh, The Gentleman, that's on Netflix, that show. Same way.
and
There
even
is
Abigail.
no, which
It
who's Abigail?
is a vampire movie that came out. Well, this one he was trying to be more lively, but he's like that cold, calculating villain that's supposed to be calm at times,
But it was just
kind of
like,
suave.
ugh.
I didn't
And then
feel
he
it from
didn't,
him.
he didn't
No
get,
offense to Esposito, because I do like him as an actor in a lot of ways.
yeah, me too. But it's just, again, the same way. It's like Will Smith playing, Will Smith, or The Rock being The Rock, or Jason Statham playing Jason Statham.
Yeah,
Like, no stretch. And like he also the way he handled the firearms, very amateurish. Like he didn't take any training. Like
yeah.
he's holding the gun like this, you know, waiting to shoot. It looked bad. Even though I liked it, I'm like now I'm getting pissed of things that came out of it. What else was not of your liking?
So the Hulk.
Oh, I have a problem too with the Hulk in the sense of
You want to say your thing first?
radiation. No, no. Well, I'm just saying his radiation, like when he gets like okay, when the Green Hulk gets mad, he gets stronger. When the Red Hulk gets upset or madder, he irradiates more heat.
Correct. I was with a friend who was watching it, and they didn't even know that he was emitting heat at all. And I'm like, yeah, there was a couple things he burned, like a pedal, and like he grabbed something, and you see little burn marks when he grabbed it, but that was it. So,
Yeah, it was very subtle. It should have been like everything,
and here's the thing, and a lot of people were
everything,
like,
everything he
this is.
touched or stepped on.
A lot of people were saying this is Marvel going back to form because he's like the Savage Hulk kind of concept. First of all, the Red Hulk in the comics when he was introduced was a bad guy. He was framing the Hulk
Hmm.
for a lot of things. This was
Right.
after a World War Hulk, Planet Hulk event.
Hmm.
Uh, Bruce Banner was
Hmm.
in jail, but he was framing the Hulk for things. People thought, he just went red.
Right.
And then when he does radiate, he's literally just a walking field of radiation and heat, destroying what's around him. Here, it was very weak, and they made him go savage more. He's not intelligent, and probably because they made the choice
Right.
to go intelligent with the other Hulk, and I think that was the
Well,
wrong
no, and
choice.
this, well, I think it's because in the comics, he became the Red Hulk by choice, where here he had no idea.
I understand that. I'm just
You
saying
think,
that's a byproduct of a poor storyline, is what I'm saying. I don't like the storyline in
okay.
general that was chosen for this
Now,
character. I
did you
like
did you
Harrison
think of
Ford.
Star Wars at any? Oh, no, no, of course he did. I think he did a great job. This is more of a Harrison Ford movie or Thunderbolt movie than Captain America. But they've done that with Winter Soldier and with Civil War. Even though you have Captain America, there's so many side characters in those films that it kind of pushes more towards their story than Captain's story.
Betty
But
Ross
did you get?
also. Oh, wait, before you start going into these things, I still got my venting. Betty Ross. I'm
Okay,
surprised they brought her in
why?
because there was a lot of issues with
Oh,
like the original Hulk and like the contracts and stuff. But the
oh,
phone scene where he gets a phone call, I should have called after the assassination attempt. That kind of thing. Bro, that felt forced as all get out. I thought it was a ploy from Zelita pretending to be Betty
uh,
Ross just to play with him.
uh,
No, it was
uh-huh.
her. I'm like, wow, didn't put no effort there. It felt like it felt like you were a hostage. It was so
It's like,
robotic.
oh, hi, I should have called
Yeah.
when I heard about your assassination attempt. Yeah, but that's how Cheese is. Liv Tyler's like that. She's very like
Yeah, but she
soft
gave more of a
spoken.
performance than that in, like, everything else I've seen. She's very soft spoken, but not to the point where it's like, "Wow, I don't even know if you're, like, a bot." Okay, go to your
Okay.
Star Wars.
Well, there's a reference there, and it was just clear as day. It was clear as day.
Mhm.
When the leader interrupts the ships, the Japan versus U.S. Fighting for the
The
Celestial
Celestial?
Island, he goes, "Let go of your hate, let go of your anger."
Yeah.
That's what he said. I was like, "Dude, that's Palpatine. You just went Palpatine trying to get Ross to transform as the Red Hawk on the ship." Really, I don't know if that's deliberate or they just did it by accident and then just. It's like, come on, you're making trying to make Ross Vader with those words. But also that was one of my favorite scenes was that with trying to save Japan or rescue Japan from taking down
Mhm.
the controlled pilots. Plus the one of the openings, but that was about it. But I know you have more.
I'm really tearing into this. How did they know it's a Celestial? I
Oh,
knew they said it's an unknown mass that came out, and they call it a Celestial Island. Is that just a coincidence, or did they actually know that's supposed to be a Celestial?
good point. I mean, they could have called it Gaiju Island. You're right. The more you're talking about it, I still like it,
I know
but the
you
more
do.
you're talking about it, you're making sense. It's very convenient. Very
Absolutely.
convenient how thing how things came out, and I'm with you on that. I am
Yeah.
100% with you on that. I am glad that they got rid of his mask or cowl from the Falcon and Winter Soldier. That
I think
cowl,
that was a
even though it was
choice
comic
from
book
Anthony
accurate,
Mackie. I think he hated the cowl
right?
idea too.
Well, in the show, they had to in post fix it because it was not fitting right. Every time he
Mhm.
turned, the thing will come out. So it was just they had to make it look skin tight in post.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, that cow is extremely ugly. Extremely ugly. I like how it is, how they made it, where just with the goggles and then the rest of the suit. And I don't really like the white and blue. It says predominantly white because that's just a it's just so easy to see where a lot of his missions are like co-op or not co-op, you know, that on the hush.
Yeah.
You don't want to see it, but I know for the comics they did it because they want to see him coming and showing. But I like that they went back to the roots of the blue, predominant blue costume.
Okay.
And I know they do that also in the comic books. And I like the Hawkeye's costume because he had the helmet. Not
Mhm.
Hawkeye's, I'm sorry, the Falcon's costume. It looked good on him.
Yeah.
I liked it.
I don't understand the outfit
I
as
mean,
far as
for
his abilities.
captains,
Yeah.
Wakanda gave
I
it to him.
hear me out.
Okay.
It felt like they put upgrades since he first got it in Falcon and Winter Soldier, but
Oh, most definitely.
no comment was made about that because in
Well,
Falcon and
no,
Winter
they did.
Soldier he didn't have half the things that they did.
No, they said it
No, they
when
said he got that
he
from Wakanda.
right. It was a gift
Yeah.
for what he's done.
Mhm.
So they upgraded his suit. They said that in the beginning.
I took that it was an upgrade from the original suit.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it is an upgrade from the original suit. So the suit we seeing here, yes, it is. Yes.
No, when I
So
mean the original
remember,
suit, I'm talking about the Falcon suit, not the Captain America suit at the end of Falcon and Winter Soldier.
so wait a minute, which was now you're confusing me.
So
So what?
in the Falcon and Winter Soldier at the last
Hmm.
episode, he gets
Hmm.
the suit with the cowl, right?
Yes,
He doesn't have
yes,
the overhead thing. He doesn't have
right.
the vibranium absorption
Right.
rejection. He doesn't have it
Right.
where it can cut through everything. So either a
Exactly. Okay.
so those are all new things that are added.
Hmm.
Now, when they said the upgrade and you're talking about it was a gift from Wakanda, I thought they were just referring to what happened on the final episode because that was a gift from Wakanda.
No, I understand, but remember,
You
it
took
took
it as
yes,
upgrades on
because
top of that.
correct, because remember, Ross became president and all the stuff. It was 5 months later. Again, we're not really sure of the timeline of what's happening here.
I understand that. Okay.
Right? So, but in those 5 months, upgrades could happen because he's been on multiple missions. And so to me, that wasn't too far-fetched. But you're right. In the show, it was a gift from Wakanda, and then here was another like upgrade of the gift. Because remember,
Okay.
Sherry was also it's like developing stuff. And not just Sherry, but also Ironheart.
Riri Williams. Where'd the money come
Yeah.
from?
Which money?
He has a facility now, a training area. He's not a government agent. He's a solo op. Is he getting paid for doing those operations?
Yeah. I mean, he just rescued the medal under the orders of the president.
But he's not technically a government employee.
No, he's probably more like freelance.
Okay.
And so like a contract, you get paid
I'm just
for
saying,
it.
like when we finished the first series, he is nothing that was explained that he was part on cash. Let's just put it that way.
Right.
And
Right.
he was still doing jobs, and he couldn't even at that point couldn't support his family.
Well, remember from the show, he was blipped. So
Yes,
all that those 5 years. So time has gone on, and he may have gotten like maybe a fund by the Tony Stark Foundation.
but what
What's
I'm
his
saying
name?
is like he got blipped, he came back, and he was still doing work with the government, and was still not being able to pay the bills.
Right.
I'm just saying,
Well,
in our experience in family, we know that
Joaquin,
Uncle Sam doesn't pay that well.
but Joaquin was still military. Captain America may not be sanctioned military, but Joaquin was,
I doubt
and
Joaquin's
he's
getting
worked.
paid that well.
No, not that he's getting paid that well. I'm just saying that they're worked together because they've been working
Yeah.
together. Well, he's Captain America, so he must have gotten paid somehow. Before it was Tony Stark fitting the bills, and like I said, maybe God damn, what's his name again? Jesus, John Favreau's character.
Happy Hogan.
Yeah, Happy Hogan is probably under the Stark Foundation. Probably gave some money too to keep it going.
Mm.
And plus, if he's getting gifts from Wakanda, they're probably also giving him financial gifts. But again, you're right; it's not clear. Nothing is being answered in that sense. When you're right, when he was struggling, but he wasn't like he gave up in the show. He gave up the mantle of Captain America, so that means he was no longer being paid or under contract or what have you.
The mantle of Captain America doesn't come with a paycheck because before he was Captain America, he was Falcon and he was still getting
Right.
paid one way or the other. So I'm just
Right,
saying,
under Tony Stark. Tony Stark was running the Avengers,
yes,
and Avengers
but he
was
was
something
also
separate.
doing other stuff with the government, is what I'm saying. I am just saying it didn't make
When? When
sense.
was
You
he doing
agreed
stuff?
with me.
When was he doing the stuff with the government during Avengers time? Because remember, he retired. He retired in Winter Soldier. He was running a PTSD center or meeting, whatever that he
Yeah,
helped with
Veteran Center.
soldiers.
Yeah,
Yes, so that's how he was getting paid in that aspect.
true.
But then for the work as an Avenger, he was getting paid by Tony Stark.
Okay. And then when he
All
came
right.
back, he still worked with the government on
A little bit, right? But then he gave up the mantle of Tony. Remember, he retired the shield. This is not for me.
he never used a shield up until the end. He was doing the jobs without the shield.
No, I understand. He was the Falcon, right? But what I'm saying is he couldn't think he could live up to the title of Captain America, so he retired it. So his retirement doesn't mean that Captain America's retired. They gave it to someone else, so that the title of Captain America, who was an employee of the thing, hence he's not getting paid by the government or
So,
by
uh,
Tony Stark's foundation.
okay, I think you're focusing on the wrong part of what I'm saying. So,
Okay,
I don't care about Captain America, even though we're talking about this movie. That shield doesn't come with a paycheck. Captain
I
America, Steve
understand that.
Rogers, was not an official military guy. They gave him the title of his captain, but he was never officially registered. There's an ongoing joke that the only real captain is Captain Carol Danvers because she
Hmm.
actually has a title. Now,
Hmm.
setting that aside, when he was like frozen out of ice, he still was not a U.S. Soldier. in that aspect. He was working for Tony, he worked for Shield, but
Right.
like he
He was
was
getting
not
paid. Mhm.
technically to get paid. Falcon was always Falcon until the end of the series.
Mhm.
The job of getting the government official from Batroc, the job of investigating the flag smashers, those all private jobs. Those were getting paid side jobs from the government, but you're still not getting enough pay to salvage his family or whatnot. Even though he picked up the mantle of the shield again, that shield did not belong to the government. It was never government property. It was actually stolen material from Wakanda. It was Wakanda property.
Mhm.
Wakanda
Mhm.
gave him those materials for the costume. He just took up the mantle of the title, which is
Mhm.
all ungovernment items. It just doesn't make sense, is what I was arguing in that aspect. Him
What does
as
not
the
make sense?
Falcon was not
You're saying it
making
doesn't make
paycheck.
sense. Okay, okay.
And you kept going back to the
But
shield.
don't right, I understand because he gave it up. So when
That
he
has
gave it up,
nothing to do with the
but
paycheck,
he
though.
but he was getting oh my god. He became a civilian in the Falcon and Winter Soldier. And then he was struggling. He's like, oh, I'm gonna take care of the boat, take care of my sister, the family, I'm gonna be responsible. And then that's where the trouble started to happen. And then things started to happen with the flag smashers and people becoming super soldiers. Wasn't Bucky still military?
No, he wasn't. He was a criminal. He was court ordered. And he was doing illegal things. He was going on missions when he should have been.
So he wasn't ordered anyway. So how did he? Because I haven't rewatched the series, and you did. They got paid somehow, right? And plus with the help of Sharon Carter
I
doing
don't
some
know.
stuff.
They never explained how Bucky got paid. Bucky
Okay,
is technically a war criminal. I don't even
right.
understand how he's going to be running for Congress,
Me neither.
but he's technically a war criminal. He didn't work for the Avengers at any point.
Right,
Tony would have never
right.
gave him a paycheck.
Well, he
So
may have had
he
he may
may
have
have had
gotten
Hydra
like
contacts because he was like redeeming himself and avenging against his former employers at Hydra. So he
right,
may
but
have
I'm saying like
pocketed money.
right, he may have money from that from the missions he did. I don't know why they would pay him because they controlled him at the time. Maybe he had money set aside, some here and there, and then he remembered stuff like that.
Yeah, because
Or
in Civil War he did have his own apartment and he had a bug out bag with some money. But again,
yeah, but or funded by Wakanda. They just gave him money so for being helping with the blip and all that stuff and Thanos. Maybe I don't know. Too much thinking on this right now. Regardless, I still enjoy this movie. Yes, it doesn't make any sense, and I don't. You can try to dissuade me, but yeah, you're right. It there's some loose ends or some plot holes that don't make sense,
yeah,
and you're right. But maybe on a series, if there's another one that can fill in the
maybe Thunderbolts
plot
will
holes or
close in
fill
the loop. You know,
maybe in the sense of how they got paid and how Bucky now is able to become a congressman, stuff like that. Maybe they'll do it. Maybe. Regardless, he is getting paid. He's hired to do stuff, and he was definitely hired to rescue the medal. Do you have a favorite scene or an enjoyable scene?
um, actually, yeah, there are some enjoyable moments I do have. Like I okay, as much as I tore it up, there are things I do enjoy. I do like the actors' performances. Anthony
Hmm.
Mackie
Hmm.
holds good with me. Oh, I'm surprised. Like Joaquin Torres, Danny Ramirez,
Hmm.
actually impressed me with his performances. And Harrison Ford, there are some parts
Yeah.
that seemed like it was a little bit rough, but like he's still Harrison Ford, really good on his
Yes.
performances. Now, the opening fight scene to me, I thought was very entertaining. Even the flight scene with the ship
Yes.
at the Celestial Islands was really good. I kind of wanted more from Anthony Mackie and Isaiah Bradley, that fight at the assassination attempt.
Mm,
Only because I was getting entertained by the situation and I wanted to see more happen,
right.
and that got me into it. So those were some of the scenes I was enjoying. More like the combat scenes and the fighting scenes. The part with him and I thought it was Puff Adder was the villain, but it was actually Copperhead. He's like, I was looking forward to fighting the Captain America, and this
Yeah,
is what I
yeah.
get.
Right, but it kinda didn't make sense too because he was just taking the punches and, like, eating them with no problem, he was smiling, and then at the end, after Mackie gets stabbed,
Hmm.
or not stabbed, but the armor gets cut, gets beat up so easily, I'm like, I don't know," because all the shots he was throwing at him,
They look like heavy
again, he was
hits.
just yeah, they were heavy hits, but he was just taking them, like, and again, smiling. So the finishing moves was kind of like, I don't know, I wish it was a little bit more, or in the sense of a little more dire for him to get out and more impressive. But yes, when he fought the other soldiers in the alleyway or the hallway, I liked.
Yeah,
It was very it's very realistic in a sense because you don't fight one person. You're moving here, boom, boom, you're going somewhere else. Like you're not trying to stay still and get bum rushed.
yeah,
You're moving, so they have to like so I did enjoy that. And then him pick up the cinder block, using it. It kind of reminded me of the raid in a way,
I get that. Yeah,
one of the many, at least a little bit.
I like the fact that he
Um,
couldn't catch the shield every time.
yes,
That's like a soldier, Steve Rogers thing. Like he's good with it. Just sometimes like the shield just plops.
right. Like after like a third bounce or ricochet, it goes, yes, it just drops. Like on the alley in the hallway there, and also
Hmm.
with the missiles.
Yeah,
But then like the fight with the Hulk, I did like, and it shows that his gamma rays is a little different because he gets cut relatively easy in comparison to the Green Hulk, which is very hard to cut.
well,
But
granted,
again, yeah,
it's the
the
vibranium.
vibrating.
Yeah.
No, I get it. Yeah, I get that too. I just surprised that the guy who generates so much heat, the pants stays on. He should be freaking naked at the end. And then when he comes back to the hey, it's getting really lonely out there, or something like that. The sun's coming down. The kind of like this the Green Hawk did that with the Black Widow and
Yeah,
or try to do. That pants should have dropped because it's all stretched out
yeah.
from him being so big. It would
So
have been funny. It would have been
I
funny if like he covered himself up.
it's like I know I did enjoy the part where in that same scene where he's like, "Look, he was wrong. I should have took the super soldier serum."
Yeah,
He's like,
that was
I'm getting my ass handed to me."
right. But that's what I liked about it, in the sense, and that's what I like about this in the aspect of a new person taking on the mantle. I'm tired in the comic books where Bruce Wayne is still the same age, and Batman and Bruce Wayne has been around for over 50 years. There was a time where Azrael took the mantle, and so did Dick Grayson,
Yeah,
and they had their struggles with that because being Batman is a huge burden
absolutely.
because you're looking at other things as well, and you have to live up to what was done prior by Bruce Wayne, and they actually made reference to Batman here, the dynamic duo,
Yeah, probably. I think they did. Yeah.
right? They did it twice. Is that
Mhm.
right? The dynamic duo? Am I wrong?
No, dynamic
Or
duo is Batman and Robin. Yeah.
no, I understand that, but did they said that here, or am I getting confused with someone else? Because I saw a show last
I
night.
really don't remember.
Yeah, I saw a show last night saying the dynamic duo. Maybe I'm getting confused. But anyway, that's what I'm enjoying about this.
Hmm.
You had that with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, hence he let go of the shield, let go of the name. He embraced it at the end, and
Yeah.
he's still having some trouble because he does not have the super soldier serum. So he has to rely on other things, just like Batman does. He can't compete with Superman, so Batman has to use other resources, his intellect and his athleticism.
Yeah.
We have this with the Falcon. Yes, there's a lot of plot holes.
Another one is why is there no Hulk busting equipment anywhere around
Well,
Thaddeus Ross?
well, we don't know where Banner is.
Well, here's the thing. No, I mean, I'm just saying the man who became president literally made a career of hunting down Hulks and or gamma infused individuals.
Uh-huh.
That equipment exists. Not one thing was there.
They don't know that he's gonna turn. No
I'm
one
just
knows.
saying
So
he's a general. He probably would have been prepared. Not for him turning, but I mean, in case of
right.
they're in a world of superpowered beings. You're not going to have at least one.
I don't know. Well, it was too fast, in my opinion. So for that to happen, and who's
Yeah.
gonna man it? The girl of the Secret Service or Ruth The little small freaking widow.
Oh, she can hold her own
I
twice.
understand that she can hold her own, but can she fit in that properly?
I mean, she stands a
She
better
didn't.
chance of fitting in the equipment than anybody else.
But
She's like
she didn't.
super.
Well, it wasn't a Hulkbuster. He didn't have the Hulkbuster like Tony Stark did.
Mm,
So overall, I'm okay with this because it is laying down breadcrumbs and foundations to what's coming up. And this was not a multiverse movie, which I thankfully appreciate.
it is
There was
though.
no, it is, but it isn't because they referred to it at the last moment in the end credit scene. But during the whole time, there is no multiverse thing happening going on. Like he
Okay.
doesn't know. He doesn't know about it. Doctor Strange knows, right? Captain Marvel knows,
Ant Man
or
knows.
Phantom. Yes, Ant Man knows. So everybody else, Loki knows. It's like everybody else knows except for Captain America and the Falcon. I kind of appreciate that.
Okay.
They took a couple steps back to help get back on track. I know we've been talking a lot and a lot of rambling going on, and a lot of arguments. So let's go to Rotten Tomatoes to close it out.
Okay.
On Rotten Tomatoes, again, by the time of this review, 51% by the critics and 79% by the audience. Who do you fall with?
I fall on the side of the critics that should be lower than what the audience gave, but I'm gonna say the critics not as low as that as the critics. I am a solid 65.
I'm with the audience, 80. I enjoy this film.
Mhm.
Yes, there's a lot of mistakes. There's a lot of plot holes still that I feel they'll be answered later on, and I'm okay with that. But I do hope they don't bring it Eternals 2. That should be stuck in the back burner, a one and done film. I like that when they brought that in, they tied in to use it because, again, it made no sense why he came out halfway out of the earth and no one freaked out about it. But they brought it in.
Yeah.
So I like that. And I like that they're going to start a new Avengers.
Mhm.
Now, I am bothered though that had no reference to the grandson from the Falcon and Winter Soldier
Oh,
show.
Patriot. Yeah.
He's not mentioned here, and he's supposed to be part of the Young Avengers. So I'm a little disappointed that there has no reference whatsoever.
You would think he would at least shown up, after Isaiah had been arrested.
Right. But am I wrong? Wasn't Kang also the Patriot kid?
Oh, you're
It
talking
was
about Iron Lad.
Iron Lad. So never mind. So
Hmm.
So that could be fixed. That being said, they may bring back Kang with the original actor.
Oh, that's news to me.
They're in the talks. So we'll see. Fingers crossed.
So one thing I will say, I would have been more content watching this on Disney Plus streaming. It feels like it would have been a better feel like if I watched the show, then go right into this kind of situation. Again, my issues with the plot holes, the script, I think the actors were good. I just and they technically deserve a better story.
Okay. For me, this is worth a watch. What about you? One and done or not worth the watch?
I would say one and done.
All right, guys. That is our long ass, marvelous review of Captain America Brave New World. Have you seen it? What was your favorite moment? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram. Until next time, will be the next time. I'm Angel.
I'm a Don.
On your left?
Wait for it.
Oh, yes. That was a good one.